First off, if you'd just like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role within Survivors.
Yeah, well, I'm David Anson, and I play Paul, who is he's a gun for hire who has been hired by this government facility because they've had an outbreak of their secret weapon. And one thing leads to another, things go wrong, and Paul suddenly becomes unemployed. And so he has to sort of take matters into his own hands.
Okay. So how did you first hear about the project and how did you get involved?
Well, I've worked with Adam before, the director, and a few years ago there was a competition online called Virgin Media Shorts Festival. And Adam was entering a film this year called, we called it Sunset 904. And it was about two people who are in the wake of an alien invasion. And they're trying to survive. They're just trying to get by. They're not fighting back. They just want to get from day to day. And we did this film and put it online, and it got quite a nice following, you know. So Adam decided to turn it into a feature film. And over the period of time, it went from being aliens to being infected people. And Joe was in that film as well. And, you know, we worked really well together. So we were both involved in the film before it was actually written.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right in from the start. I like it. So are you quite a big fan of the horror genre?
I enjoy horrors. I prefer comedy, but I think it's a fine line between comedy and horror. You know, if you're doing a horror film and it goes wrong, it can just be hilarious. And if you're doing a comedy film and it goes wrong, it can be quite horrific.
Terrifying.
Yes. So, but I mean, if a horror's done well, I think it's really good. And I think the best horror films are the ones that are done with actors that people don't actually know. Yeah. You know, you can watch films that are acted brilliantly by well-known people, but you're like, I've seen that person from, you know, there was a brilliant horror film I watched once, and it was the actress who played Lana Lang in the old Christopher Reeve Superman. And all the time, all I could think of was Lana Lang. So I think, the best horror films use unknown actors, and hopefully this will fall into that category. But hopefully we won't be unknown for too long.
Do you have any particular favourites that you've seen at all that's really kind of inspired you?
Well, I mean, as far as horror films go, The Ring was, you know, quite a biggie for me. Also, what was it? You know, the Child's Play films. The first one especially was quite good back in the 90s. But other than that, I don't really, as I say, focus a lot on horror. Yeah. I like the comedies.
So other than the comedy, are there any kind of other genres that you haven't worked in yet that you would really like to give a go?
I would like to do a restoration piece. I love the costume. I've done restoration theatre productions, and I would love to do something like that. I know there are some TV series on at the moment, which are, like, if I can say the name, like Poldark and Hornblower. I'd love to do something like that, especially set in the Navy, in the Victorian Navy. I'd love to do something like that. Yeah.
Have you managed to actually see Survivors yet?
I've seen bits. I've seen a few bits. There's one particular scene where my character had to eat something. Basically, we were each given a tin of food, and there was a tin of peaches, a tin of beans, both of which are lovely. I was given a tin of tomatoes, which I hate. So, you know, it was not, I mean, anything would have been better than that. A raw carrot would have been better than this tin of tomatoes. But, yeah, so I ended up having to sit there eating, and I got through the entire tin. It was not pleasant.
Really suffering for your art there.
Suffering for my art, yeah. If you see my character in pain, I was still thinking back to those tomatoes.
Brilliant. So lastly, I guess, what is next for you after Survivor?
At the moment, I'm about to start rehearsing for a short film called Ouija Sex, which is sort of, it's a comedy. I'm not sure how much I can say, but it's a lot of fun. It's a very good script. I'll start work on that tomorrow. And other than that, I do a lot of writing and things. I love writing. It's a creative outlet, you know. But I am available if anyone's looking for an actor, particularly if you're doing a comedy or something historical. But I mean, you know, there are a few things that I'd like to be involved in and that I've heard word going around that aren't actually ready to cast yet. But at the moment, I've just got the one project on the horizon.
Keeping your fingers crossed for the restoration drama.
Oh, big time. And I can clean up my accent as well, if I need to. I'll just throw that in there.
Doing a bit of advertising while you're here. I like
it. Self-promo, you can't do too much self-promo.
Make the most of it. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming and talk to us. Thank you.
Look, Kate, you can trust me.
I can't know that.